Welcome back to Business to Business on City News 570, powered by Cowan Insurance. Joined again this week by our good friend Lianne Clarke. She's the Principal VP for Wellness and Disability, Innovation and Growth at Cowan Insurance Group. And Gregory, we talked last week about the echo pandemic of mental health and the challenges that have been identified and we continue to see. And it was important for us to understand that context. But this week we wanted to have Lianne come back and say, what can employers do? Because that's the important part. How do we address this issue of mental health with our employees?
Yeah, and thanks for coming back, Lianne. We really appreciate that. But this we know you're busy because you explained to us last week how this is really becoming a challenge for employers and your clients calling you and asking for help. So we know we're stretching you a little bit by tearing you away from that, but we appreciate it nonetheless. We talked a lot about, and what I kind of got from our conversation last week was, you talked about SARS and you talked about the economic slowdown 2008. It seems to me that we go through this, and maybe it accumulates over time. Every time there's a significant global issue, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an illness. It could, in fact, just be economic pressures. So what employers need to be aware of all this stuff. When things like this happen, they need to start planning maybe ahead of time. Now that we've learned all of this over the years, what can employers do then to support employees that are either post or heading into something that might create this problem again?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Greg. Employers tend to historically be reactive, right? So I see a big increase in absenteeism. I need help now. So there's not a lot of being proactive in this space. I think if COVID did one thing, it really lit the fire. It was a catalyst for employers taking stock of what they have to support employees and especially mental health. Human resources, I feel bad for that group in particular because they went through not only COVID and everything that was going on around health and safety and absenteeism, they had diversity, equity, and inclusion in there. They have hybrid workforce, and now they're trying to bring employees back into the workforce. And there's a lot of pushback from employees on that. They've gotten used to 2 years from working from home. And so coming back in raises that anxiety again. So in terms of mental health, in particular, employers really need to have a strategy in place. So it can't just be reactive at a point in time. They have to have a strategy. They have to make it a business priority and invest in human capital. There's a quote that I just love, and it's take care of your people and they will take care of your business. And it starts at the top. So there has to be senior leadership buy-in. Senior leaders have to believe that this is a priority, just like physical safety is in the workplace. I find employers are really quick to do anything around physical safety, but when it comes to the mind, people who aren't focused on their job, it increases your risk of not only physical safety issues in the workplace, it increases risk of cancers, of pain, musculoskeletal disorders. So they really need to make this a priority. Leaders need to be, it's called the 3 V's, vocal, vulnerable, and visible. So they need to be demonstrating that they are aware of mental health in the workplace. With physical safety, it's the see something, say something. Mm-hmm. With psychological safety, it's hear something, say something, right? Mm-hmm. So making sure people aren't using wording like, oh, he's a psycho or he's mental or that person's crazy. So you hear that language, making sure that you address that. Mm-hmm. I would say manager mental health training is probably the starting point. Leaders and managers, especially middle managers, are really kind of squished in terms of the upper leadership and the employees that are reporting into them. So making sure that they're reducing stigma, they're aware of symptoms of mental illness in the workplace. So people who might be struggling, offering them accommodation, making sure they know what resources they have under their employee benefit program, like an employee and family assistance program, and providing that to employees. The the support doesn't just stop at work, right? So you want people to come into the workplace and leave in the same or better shape than when they came in. But a lot of people have stuff going on at home, right? We talked about last week about kids and mental health and struggling at school, elder care. How many people have parents in nursing homes? The financial issues going on in the world today and inflation. So struggles people have with finances. So it's keeping people safe at work and making sure they're supported at home as well.
How does digital health work along with this? Because we talked a little bit about that as well. And we're in an age of technology. So how does digital health and mental health or mental health work?
Yeah. So employee and family assistance programs are great. Most people have them, but COVID really saw a burst in terms of apps coming to the market, right? As I mentioned before, it was a catalyst for this virtual healthcare, which for mental health actually works quite well because cognitive behavioral therapy, virtual counseling, when it comes to mental health, has been proven to be as effective as in person. So you'll see now it's scalable. You can access people who are more remote and in areas that can't get in to see a doctor or a psychiatrist or psychologist. So they're doing this virtual support. And so there have been a lot of apps come out. Headversity is an excellent resilience coaching app that's out there to help people. Together All has a digital peer support program. Not Myself Today has a whole program. Alavita substance use program to support those struggling with substance use virtually.
So listen, I mean, there's no end of this. It's a big topic. Where can people find, if they want to get more information, that Cowan's got a lot of information. They can either contact you, Lianne, or one of your team, but where on the website can they find some of this?
Yeah, cowangroup.ca. We have a return to health program that encompasses all wellness and disability services. And I would love for you to reach out and talk to me if you're looking for help with a mental health strategy.
That's awesome.
Always a smart thing to do is call the smart people at Cowan, and no one smarter than Lianne Clarke. She is the Principal Vice President of Wellness and Disability Innovation and Growth at Cowan Insurance Group.